Hello, thank you for taking the time to participate in the Local Leaders Training Series. My name is Kathy Lindenbaum, and I serve as the 2019-2021 New Jersey PTA President. PTA is no longer a noun, it's a verb, an action plan working to support your child's success. It is an invitation to every family and every school to participate because we can do more together than we can do apart. There is no wrong way to PTA, just as long as you're doing for your child. You can give money by joining and donating. You can volunteer time and effort. You can help grow our strength and presence at the local, state, or national level as an advocate for improving your child's education. As the leaders of our local PTAs in New Jersey, you are the front lines of all of this. There are many other groups out there focused on raising money, but PTA is about more than dollars. PTA is committed to fostering family engagement and student success in every one of our communities. I encourage you to take full advantage of New Jersey PTA's new online resources hub and reach out to us if you need more information. We are here to help you succeed. The resources hub can be found on our website at njpta.org. It includes templates, guidebooks, and so much more. Thank you all you do for your communities and your PTA.
Hello, my name is Laurie Palmer, and I am the 2019-2021 New Jersey PTA Treasurer. Today you will participate in the local PTA Treasurer training. The Treasurer is the authorized custodian of the funds of the association and receives and disperses all monies in accordance with the budget as approved by the association's general membership. Before we begin, let's talk about our why. New Jersey PTA shares a common mission with National PTA and all PTAs across the country. This is the PTA mission statement: to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. The stated purposes of the PTA bylaws all contribute to achieving this single mission. When members or stakeholders come to you with questions about what PTA does, be sure to make the PTA mission part of your explanation. Let's start by diving into the business side of your PTA and how our mission relates. All local PTAs in the state of New Jersey, through your affiliation with New Jersey PTA, are classified as nonprofit organization under IRS Code 501c3. But what does that mean? Because of our mission, the IRS considers PTAs nonprofit businesses and has granted PTAs tax-exempt status. This means that the IRS allows PTAs to receive income, but we do not have to pay income tax on that income. We are exempt from paying income tax. Because we are recognized as tax-exempt by the IRS, the state of New Jersey also recognizes our charitable purpose and allows PTAs to earn income without paying income tax. And furthermore, New Jersey allows PTAs to make purchases without paying sales tax. These are some of the IRS rules that 501c3 organizations must follow. You can see more in the IRS publication 4221-PC. All PTAs must file annually the Form 990. You would either file a 990N, a 990EZ, or a 990, depending on the income of your organization. This is like your personal 1040, and just like your 1040, it is IRS law that you file it annually. Also, no one individual can benefit from PTA funds. For example, a PTA raises $10,000, and instead of spending it equally amongst all the grades in the school, whereby all the students would benefit, instead the PTA gives out one $10,000 scholarship to one student. All 501c3 organizations are not allowed to support or campaign for a candidate for public office, nor can they lobby. Upon a PTA's dissolution, must be distributed to another 501c3 organization. A PTA should never allow another organization or group to use their 501c3 status. At the local level, that would mean you should never loan or rent your gaming license to another organization. The treasurer has a lot of responsibilities and duties. This is a simple overview of the treasurer's duties. The treasurer will maintain accurate books. The treasurer is a likely candidate to be involved with the preparation of the budget The treasurer will pay all bills on time and remit dues to NJPTA monthly. The treasurer must present a treasurer's report at every board of directors and general meeting. You should always bring your financial records with you in case you have to answer questions during the meeting. The treasurer will provide your PTA committee people with the PTA's ST5 certificate. They should use the ST5 when purchasing taxable items for PTA events. The ST5 is the New Jersey sales tax exempt form, which proves that you do not have to pay sales tax in the state of New Jersey. The IRS 990 NJCRI form and the New Jersey annual report should be filed each year, and that will be discussed on the next slide. The treasurer will prepare financial records for the financial review. While the treasurer is in charge of the actual record keeping of your PTA's finances, it is everyone's responsibility to know what is happening with your PTA's funds. This is a I form. This should be used anytime you are purchasing a taxable item for your PTA. This will ensure that no tax is charged. If you can't find your ST5, you can contact the New Jersey Department of the Treasury to obtain a new one. To provide support and guidance to our local PTAs and councils, New Jersey PTA provides a Standards of Affiliation Agreement checklist to help navigate legal requirements. Our Resources Hub has a full training video and best practices and tip sheet for the Standards of Affiliation Agreement checklist. We will cover the items related to the finances. We will be discussing only those standards that pertain to the treasurer's position. Number 1, the IRS 990 filing, which we will cover later. Number 2 and 3, the charities registration filing and the new report will also be covered later. After your board determines your budget, you, the treasurer, must present it to your PTA's general membership for adoption. You must present it at your first general membership meeting of the year, which is usually on back to school night. You must pay dues to NJPTA monthly. At the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th, the treasurer should prepare all financial records for the Financial Review Committee. There are instructions on the financial review telling you what you must provide to the Financial Review Committee. The Financial Review Committee is made up of at least 3 members of your PTA who were not signers on the checking account during the fiscal year being audited. So who prepares the budget? The president should ask for volunteers, but the logical choices would be past president, past treasurer, current president, current treasurer, and fundraising chairman. How's the budget determined? First, you need to determine your goals. That is what you want to spend the money on and how much money you need. A budget is a representation of these 2 monetary figures, how much money you need to bring in and how much money you want to spend. The budget is a projection of income and expenses. You would base this projection on last year's income and expenses. For example, if your fall fundraiser last year was projected to bring in $15,000, but it only brought in $12,000, you would only put $12,000 in that budget line for this year's budget, or maybe even less. It isn't a bad idea to underestimate your income a bit, and likewise to overestimate your expenses by a little bit. That way you'll leave yourself a cushion. The budget must indicate your PTA's cash on hand at the beginning of the fiscal period. Your fiscal year begins July 1st and ends June 30th. The budget must include all projected income from all sources. The budget must include all projected expenses. Remember that items such as NJPTA convention and county council dinner meetings are legitimate expenses for your PTA. After the budget is completed, present it to your PTA board of directors and then you must present it to your general membership at the first general membership meeting of your school year. Here is a copy of a sample budget. In order to carry out the mission statement, PTAs need money, which they acquire by fundraising. First, you should determine how much money you need, what you want to spend money on, and plan your fundraisers accordingly. You should raise the amount of money you expect to spend in the year. There is no need for large carry-forward balances, and certainly no need for savings accounts. PTAs have no need for an emergency fund or rainy day money. Unlike our own personal lives, where we should have emergency money in case of unexpected expenses, there are no unexpected expenses for a PTA. When determining the type of fundraisers you should do fundraisers that would be successful in your school community. As a charitable organization in New Jersey, PTAs are legally allowed to hold bingos, 50/50s, raffles, gift auction, turkey trays, and the like. In order to hold any kind of game of chance, you must apply for a biennial license from the state of New Jersey, and you must apply for permits for each gaming event from the municipality in which the event will be held. That being said, license and permit are only necessary if you are charging money for the event or for the tickets. For example, if your PTA wants to hold a candy bar bingo, where the admission price is a candy bar, no licenses or permits are needed as there is no exchange of money. New Jersey state law requires you to have a separate checking account for all gaming activity, which you must use for all income and expenses related to gaming. Organization is the key to proper bookkeeping. Keep a current check record, handwritten register, Excel spreadsheet, or bookkeeping software like QuickBooks. By the way, you can get QuickBooks for about $50 through TechSoup.org. I would suggest buying an inexpensive laptop for the PTA treasurer, install QuickBooks, and pass the laptop from treasurer to treasurer. Reconcile your check register to the bank statement every month. This will ensure that you have accurately recorded all income and withdrawal items. Also, your insurance policy mandates that you have a non-signer on your checking account sign off on your reconciliation. The insurance company wants to make sure that someone who does not have access to the money via check rating capability is looking at the PTA funds. Bring your books, check register, and all income and check vouchers and bank statements to your monthly meetings and have a non-signer look at the reconciliation then. Using an income voucher and expense voucher system is a good way to keep organized. Here is a sample of an income voucher. Here's a sample of a check request or expense voucher form. Reconcile your check register to the bank statement every month. This will ensure that you have accurately recorded all income and withdrawal items. Again, remember to bring your books to every monthly meeting, and that would be a good time to have a non-signer look at the reconciliation to verify everything that's been done. According to your bylaws, the president and treasurer must sign every check. Your insurance policy also requires you to have 2 signatures on every check. You must also have a third emergency signer on your account in the event that one of the 2 main signers is indisposed. Remember, signers on the checking account cannot be related to each other either by blood or marriage. Never, ever, ever sign a blank check. When receiving cash, do not of counting it alone. Have at least one other person count it with you and sign off on the amount on the deposit voucher. The treasurer's report runs from meeting date to meeting date and captures all the financial transactions that occurs between those dates. You should have all of your books at every meeting in case there are questions. When presenting the treasurer's report, you can either send the report out via email prior to the meeting, you can project it on a screen, or you can print out copies and distribute them. Here is a sample copy of a treasurer's report. You can also see the resources hub for more sample treasurer's reports. The internal audit financial review must be done by a financial review committee comprised of 3 members of your PTA. This committee is appointed by the president. Members cannot have been signers on the account during the period being audited. The treasurer should be available during the audit to answer questions by the committee if they arise. The financial review form, which you can download from the New Jersey PTA Resources Hub, has self-explanatory instructions telling you everything you need to provide to the financial review committee. Remember, all of your PTA's money must be accounted for in the audit. You must include information for all of your bank accounts. Filing your IRS 990 form. The IRS requires all nonprofits to file annually a 990 tax form. Which form of the 990 your PTA must file is dependent on your gross income. Remember, gross income is all the money you bring in. If you were to add up all the deposits on your bank statements, you would have your gross income. The IRS will automatically withdraw your PTA's tax-exempt status if the Form 990 is not filed years in a row. Do not let this happen. File this form annually. Do not let it lapse even 1 year. To file the New Jersey CRI form. New Jersey state law requires that any nonprofit organization grossing more than $10,000 in fundraising income must be registered with New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs Charities Registration Division. Once registered, you must file an annual CRI form, which is now an online process, and pay the appropriate fee. The fee is based on your gross income. As you can see on the slide, it will tell you, depending on your gross income, what your fee will be. Do not lapse on either filing the NJCRI or the 990. It is a time-consuming and costly process to reestablish your tax-exempt status with the IRS and with the state of New Jersey Charities Registration. Charities Registration for New Jersey also charges late filing penalties. The New Jersey is only required if your PTA is incorporated. If your PTA is incorporated, you must file this form annually, and the filing fee is $25.50 if you do not change the registered agent. Here's a listing of important contact information for the different organizations and entities that you would be filing forms for. So if you have a question on any of them, you can look up the numbers and information here on how to contact them. So what does the treasurer do at the end of the year? At the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th of the year, the treasurer must make sure the books are in order for the audit committee, make sure all invoices have been paid, make sure all NJPTA Standards of Affiliation have been completed. And you can refer to the Standards of Affiliation checklist to see all of them. If it is the end of the treasurer's term, the treasurer must not only do the above, but must also meet with the incoming treasurer to explain the whole process, hand over all of the PTA's financial records. This is all the lawful property of the PTA, not the individual officer. And the treasurer will also instruct the incoming treasurer to attend NJPTA Officer Training, either in person or online. So what happens after the financial review? After the audit, you should gather up all your records for the fiscal year, put it all in one large envelope, and store it with the prior year's records. Since the IRS requires a 7-year retention time for financial records, at the end of every year, you can discard the oldest year's records that you have. Make sure you are keeping 7 years of records. Ideally, all the PTA's financial records should be kept somewhere in the school: a designated file cabinet, a shelf in the library, a closet. Ask your school principal where there may be storage. If you have any questions, please visit our new New Jersey PTA Local PTA Resources Hub. You may also call our office at 609-587-0100 or email us at njpta@njpta.org. Thank you for participating in your local PTA Leader Training Series. Be sure to view all the resources and tools on the new New Jersey PTA Local PTA Resources Hub. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sharon Roseborough, and I am Vice President of Leadership Development. I would like to thank you for taking the time to view this webinar. To comply with yearly mandated training, officers are required to take the following webinars: President, Secretary, Treasurer, Bylaws, and Advocacy. Please continue to check our website for updated training information. Thank you for serving our locals.